Hey people, how's it going? So I now created this section of the channel called Penny for Jin's Thoughts. It's mostly shorter videos, no longer than 10 minutes. Not much editing on my part, dedicated to discussing topics that are trending, or that I can't really give spoilers on, or just generally a short penny for my thoughts on something. I've been wanting to do this for quite a bit after I saw a certain movie in theaters. Yup, it's a trip through Uncanny Valley hell itself, Cats. So I'm willing to bet some of you have already seen the, albeit hilarious, reviews on Cats. Yeah, the trailer scared the hell out of me, but even so I was still intrigued. I was already familiar with the Broadway show, and though I was never a huge Cats fanatic, it was still one that I really enjoyed. I did musical theater before, so you can guess stuff like this is kind of up my alley. I've never seen it live when I was in New York. I ended up watching Les Miserables instead. I saw the 1998 tape recording of the show, and I really liked it. As much of an acid trip it felt like to watch this, it was a really fun trip. Cats is all about the music, the dancing, the magic, the ambiguity. It's an attempt at explaining and exploring a cat's inner mystery, or at least that's how I interpret it. So when this movie came out, I was probably expecting the unique, dramatic, metaphorical, and fever-dreamish extravaganza of dancing cats that is this musical. Did I get that? I don't know. I'm not sure. It's almost like there were other, much more pressing aspects of this movie that I was too focused on to notice at first. I mean, what the hell? What the actual hell? I saw the reviews, but I still wanted to see it. I thought I was ready. I really did. I thought I'd seen worse Uncanny Valley horrors. But when the trailer ads were over and the movie began, I cannot describe the amount of uncomfortable, lingering dread I felt as I clung to my chair in the empty theater, save for the other 3 people there, seeing stuff like this. Oh my god. So yeah, the personification of Uncanny Valley staring into your soul is pretty obvious. Seeing these obviously human actors with ears and tails and CGI fur all over their naked bodies, resembling a human face Snapchat filter on a cat, I really just sunk into my chair, experiencing this dread I've never felt before, as if I was staring into the eyes of the abyss and the abyss was staring back at me. That's as close as I can get to how it felt like. It's a shame that seeing humans with fur rubbing against each other and drinking milk out of bowls was not exactly fun. But hey, I always wondered what government-issued genetically engineered cat girls would look like. And I'd like to thank Cats for answering this question in the worst way possible. But how about we move on to other aspects? In a lot of reviews I read, many people complain about this movie's confusing and nonsensical plot and how there's too many characters. And, well, to that I say, congratulations, that's the point. The Broadway show Cats was based on a bunch of poems a guy called T.S. Eliot wrote about fictional cat characters he created. That's why most of the show is here's this cat, and here's this cat, and here's this cat. The thing is, when you make a movie for film, it usually needs to have the Hollywood formula for it to be a big success. A solid story, main and supporting characters, and a crystal clear journey for character development. And Cats doesn't really go like that. It's non-linear and is much more of an experience than a story. I'm not sure this is the kind of experience audiences will want to have, though. Look man, the plot of Cats is that they're from a tribe/cult called the Jellicles, and every year they meet for a ball, where their leader picks who gets to die and be reborn into a new life. Yes, really. That's what they're competing for. See, that's why Cats is remembered much less for the plot and much more about literally everything else. Okay, so what about the actors? As is the hot trend for every single movie now, A-list celebrities, baby! Taylor Swift's face was plastered over every single poster and trailer of this movie's existence. Which is funny considering her actual part in the movie is like 5 minutes. As they say, you can never get too desperate for clout. I think last minute they realized this movie really was gonna be the bombest of box office bombs, and tried to use Taylor Swift's fans as a last-ditch effort for an audience who would willingly watch this. So the actors all suck and everything sucked, right? Surprisingly no. I was actually impressed with the level of effort that went into training the actors. They had dance lessons, daily exercises, and intense choreography training. And that's only right because, believe me, to do a show like Cats, you need to be at the very least a ballet master. And though some of the characters with the most screen time were celebrities, a lot of others were professional dancers. Hell, even Taylor Swift surprised me, she was pretty good. If she takes up more musical theater stuff, I'd watch it. Differently from the show, where it was mostly just ballet, there were lots of different dance styles as well, like street dancing, tap dancing. Of course, you'll only be able to notice all this once you get past and get used to the visual horrors. It takes willpower, but you do get used to it eventually. Too bad that most of the world-class dancing this movie was said to include was beautifully hidden in the blurry background as the celebrities took up most of the screen time. Same thing for all the backdrops. That's not only an insult to their hard work on the dancing, but also the parts where they were just pure dancing and we couldn't see their horrible faces really well were the most bearable parts of the movie. This kind of thing cuts back on those parts. Yeah, speaking of that, I have a serious problem. Those static shots, movie, cut that out. They really do think we want to stare at Judi Dench's genetically engineered cat girl face as she speaks to the camera for a solid 3 minutes. Yeah, we don't. We really don't. I wasn't able to get bored because I was too busy being uncomfortable. I guess that's a good thing with this movie, you're never bored, because when the static shots are long and dull, at least the abyss of the uncanny valley is keeping you entertained. The CGI, size consistency, human face, Snapchat filters is just a mess. A creepy, feline mess. So the actors did try, but had their effort hidden and erased under a curtain of ugly CGI. The cinematography drives me insane that for a show like Cats, filled with movement, it was replaced with countless uncomfortable static close-ups, humans rubbing into each other and licking milk with their tongues, and Rebel Wilson eating cockroaches with human faces. Obviously, I liked it. I did. I'm sorry. I failed all of you. But you know what? I liked it less for what it is, and more for what it could have been. When I saw the behind the scenes, it's like they had the right idea. They seemed to be on the right track with genuine effort. I feel like if they released a raw version of this movie with no fur or effects and it's just the human actors in a nice ballet/dance show, people would have been more likely to watch that. It's our good old friend, wasted potential. They already had material to work with. They could have dressed the actors in cat costumes and makeup. Or hell, even do their own interpretation of the costumes. Go for it. But no. It's like they chose to go the hardest, most expensive, unholiest way on purpose just to lose money. Who thought this was a good idea? Who? What sane human being thought that exposing audiences to this was gonna be a success? Not to mention this movie was barely even finished on time. They're apparently sending out an updated version to theaters at this moment with improved effects. So, updating movies while they're currently in theaters is a thing now. Like, I'm sorry, Tom Hopper, nothing's gonna save the abomination you created now. Like, why? Why did they choose to do this? They chose to waste nearly $100 million on expensive CGI and tracking suits on over 30 actors just so they wouldn't have to redo their makeup every day of filming. And what good did that decision do them? Bam! It's still the bombest of box office bombs. Projected to lose over $70 million. Like, what should I say? Congrats, you got exactly what you deserved for going through with a bad decision, thinking it would somehow turn out a success? This should have been called We Just Felt Like Wasting Some Money, the movie. With what I said about it so far, it must be hard to understand how it could possibly still like it. But well, maybe I should clarify that it's not really that I like it as it is now. It's that, damn it, this had potential. This has so much potential and it was ruined in the worst way possible feeling. I like it for the effort the actors put in. I like it for the good performances of the songs and the dancing. I liked it for genuinely trying to honor the original, I can see it. But all of that was ruined by horrible static cinematography, misused budget, and a director with no common fucking sense. Or at least who refused to listen to anyone with common sense. Do you really think anyone in that $100 million production looked at the CGI concepts and didn't go, yeah, maybe this doesn't look good? No, I don't believe so. You know that this movie bombed so bad, the actors themselves are begging people to give the movie a chance. James Corden hasn't even seen his own movie, purely because he saw the reviews. That's just sad. That's how bad it's going. Cats is one of the most famous shows in musical theater, and this kind of thing puts a black mark over the show. It might make people want to distance themselves from musical theater as a whole even more now. The whole point of this movie was to make the Cats show more accessible to those who couldn't afford to go to New York or a physical theater to see it. I have no idea how they managed to fuck it up that badly. There was potential in there, and all I could think about was, damn, that could have been so much better. Then I remembered something. When the trailers were first released, a lot of people made responses to it by fixing the movie. In other words, they made their own designs of the characters of Cats. So think with me for a sec. What if the movie didn't look like this abomination? What if the movie was 2D animated and looked like this? Pretty cool, right? These are designs made by two artists I follow and I'm a huge fan of, called Cyrus Says and Ridwells. Like, just imagine. Look at these designs, so full of personality, and imagine if the Cats movie looks like this. Wouldn't it be awesome? Or, you know, just make him look like Cat in the Hat. Looks good too. There was a traditionally animated Cats movie that was supposed to be directed by Spielberg in the early 90s, but it was unfortunately put on hold due to copyright issues and the studio closing. They were still at the concept art stage, but it looks amazing. But it wasn't cancelled. The project was resumed nearly 30 years later. Guess what it ended up turning into? Yeah. I guess this was a major CAT-astrophe, and one I hope doesn't repeat itself. I don't know who was responsible for keeping the character designs that way, but I hope they learned their goddamn lesson. I guess that's it. I can't come up with anything else to say about it, other than watch it if you dare. I can best describe this movie as a rite of passage. Into what, I don't know. But you're not gonna leave that theater the same person you were before. That was Penny for Jin's thoughts. Thank you for watching.